That's a good boy, aren't you? You're a good boy. Yes, you are. Good dog. Brothers and the occasional sister. I've got to get this one right off my chest because it's been bugging the crap out of me. AI and what it's actually doing and how it's affecting our world. And before you say, Clay, stop being an old man, you've got to embrace technology. I agree. I totally agree with that. When electricity first came out, there was posters going around of people being electrocuted, and it said beware of electricity when it was a thing that was new, and people were scared of it, and some people wouldn't have electricity in their house or wouldn't use it, and how wrong they were. So I'm not saying the same thing about AI, what it shouldn't be here, but I just see it destroying so many aspects of us human beings. I saw a video the other day of all these different professors throughout the country, not this country, I think it was overseas in America somewhere, and all of them just losing their rag at their students saying, do not use GPT, use this or use that, because the citation, these things that students were writing were just straight off ChatGPT, and you could see the professor's absolute anguish, because here's a man who, and this is lots of different professors, not just one, here's these professors that the years and years have studied so diligently and so hard to acquire the information in their minds, and then they're teaching it to the next generation, and the next generation just spewing back the stuff that's not going through their brain, that they're just taking offline through an AI bot that's writing it for them, and the professor's reading it, and he can tell that it's written by ChatGPT or some other AI, whether it's Perplexity or Grok or whatever it is that's doing it. And the frustration knowing that these students will never possess that intelligence in their mind, not intelligence, that's the wrong word, information in their minds. Now, recently, one of my good mates, Troy, sent me a song that he'd made for me. Now, Troy is not a musician. 5 or 6 years ago, I gave him a guitar because he wanted to play, and I said, bro, there you go, and I can give you lessons, because he wanted to, but he sent me some music that blew me away. It blew me away. And since he's sent more songs. Now, I was in the studio when I got the song, and I had listened to it, and I didn't really expect it to be much coming from Troy, because I've never heard him sing, I've never heard him play an instrument, but what he gave to me was something that was nothing short of incredible. I could never produce it in the studio to that same degree that it was made, and I listened to it with two minds. First of all, this is just brilliant. I was blown away. But the other thing was, how the hell did he do this? He doesn't know. He's a clever guy, Troy. He's really, really good at IT and really, really good with gardening, really good with fishing. Actually, he's good with lots of things. But I didn't know he was a musician. And the reality, he's not a musician. He did it with all prompts to an AI program. I think it was either Suno or one of those programs. And when I listened to the music, how it was quantized, the intonation, the voice, the harmonica playing, it's like, this is just next level. And I realized that AI, basically now with music, anybody that knows how to write a prompt can write a prompt and create music. And I sent it to my daughter, and she says, yeah, Dad, I made some songs for my boyfriend for his birthday just for fun. It's easy to do. And she is a musician, but so I got to thinking about this, and I said to Troy, it's great, but bro, it sort of saddens me in a way. And he said, no, you've got to embrace AI. But I don't want to embrace it, because the thing is about making music, I do want to embrace it for other things, but not for music. The thing about making music is there's a process. You spent years and years learning your instrument, you train your voice, or you practice it. I've sang thousands of concerts in Europe, so I'm used to singing. And then you put on your creative hat and you write a song, and you draw from experiences of life. You don't prompt AI to write something about a few words that you put in. You write everything yourself, and it comes from within yourself, and then you create a melody from yourself, and it's things that you feel, and it's a feeling. You get your timing from your feeling, you get your pitch from your feeling, when you're truly feeling something, and there's a process that you enjoy, and at the end of a lot of hard work, you end up with a song. Now, I then, after I got this song sent to me from a mate, I went on and I looked at one of the musicians online that talks about this, Rick, and he made a song within 10 to 15 seconds. a song that would take me 10 to 15 days of work, hard work. And the whole feeling is, yes, it is amazing. And a few of my friends have said, no, you've got to embrace it. But I don't want to embrace it because I'm a songwriter, and that's the process is part of the song. Now, what it will do to our industry, to guys like me that sell music, 30 to 40% of my income comes from my music online through royalties from the songs I've written, from the songs people stream, that they play. That's how I make an income, and that's a pretty honest way to make an income because you work long hours to do it. If somebody can just do a song within a day, or even less, not a day, it's like within an hour, and sell it for the same price that I'm selling it for, then I feel that all the musicians that have written that music that AI is using, because it must come from somebody, that if they're not getting a cut of the music, then they're losing. And it's basically like plagiarism. My voice is my property, it's my intellectual property, the way I play the harmonica, the way I play guitar. If that could be taken offline and then put somewhere else, it's a theft of intellectual property, but that's not how it rolls, apparently. Troy sent me a whole breakdown of it because I asked him, and it's more complex than that. Sit down, Johnny. It's okay, mate. Look at my dog and the old Kevin. Come here, boy. Come here. Come up here. Come and get some pets. Having a day with the dog. Good boy. Anyway, that's my thoughts on AI. I can see it's going to dumb down a lot of really, really potentially good musicians. They're going to go, okay, I'm not going to write the bass line myself. I'll just prompt AI to do it. And I don't know. I think the end will be, because I certainly don't want to listen to AI music. I want to know the artist. I want to be able to see them live. I want to see their face. I want to, like, recently I saw the Bruce Springsteen video live about a story. And there's a story behind the man's music. And then I listened to his album, Nebraska. And there's a story behind it. And everything is stories to me in music. And AI doesn't have a story. It's just taken something that someone's prompted from their story, and maybe that is a story in itself, but it's like the actual artist doesn't exist. And I want to know the artist's story, not the person who's prompted that. I want to know the person that's actually singing it. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm way out of field, and maybe AI is the future for music. But for my music, I don't want to listen to AI artists. I want to listen to real people. I want to support them. I want to help them go further with their career. If they're a real person that's starting off, and that means collaborating on their music, maybe play some harmonica or do a backing vocal or help them write something, and I want to perform my own music live rather than prompt it into a system. Now, I'm not saying I would not use AI in the studio, because I would. I think it's a great tool for doing things like quantizing music, setting a parametric equalizer up right, doing your blending, doing your mixing, doing your mastering. I'm sure it's fantastic for that. And that's not what I'm talking about. In production or post-production, great. But actually producing the raw material, and this is exactly the same, not just for music, but it's also the same for videos. I don't want to watch videos, although I'm sure I already am without realizing it, that are AI generated. I want to know the human story behind the content I'm watching. I can see that AI is going to destroy us if we allow it to, because it's going to take so much work from so many people, from copywriters, from creators, from artists, from just every field. It can take over, and we're going to end up in another five years, a lot of unemployment in the arts, a lot of unemployment in all sorts of industry, and it can be the undoing of us, because we are human creatures, sentient beings that need to use our brains and need to be creative. It's part of who we are. We need to be actively working. When AI starts doing our job for us all the time, then what do? We become lazy, sit back, and develop metabolic illness of our brain as well as our whole body. Like, we just become metabolically sick because we're not actually using our body and our mind all the time to build, to create. And I can see it being damaging. That's a negative spin, and a lot of my friends, as I've said before, have said you've got to embrace AI and make it help you work smarter and better. Maybe that's the way I need to go, but right now I can't see it because I enjoy the actual process of creation. As always, these are only my thoughts. I'm not necessarily right or correct, and I don't have any past experience to go on because AI is new to me, but it's just the way I feel about it. How do you feel about watching AI videos. How do you feel about watching something that's generated by a computer and a prompt? How do you feel about reading a story that's been prompted by just a few words, that's written by a machine as it is? How do you feel about listening to music? Do you enjoy AI music? It's possible that in the end one day we have categories. You've got jazz, blues, country, and then you've got AI. It's another category of music, and people just go for it for the sake of it. Because let's face it, it makes some incredible music. There's no doubt, I'm not doubting that. But do you want to listen to it? For me personally, I don't. Maybe that's just because I'm an artist myself. I don't know. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth on AI. Go steady, brothers and the occasional sister. See you next video. Good boy, you've been very patient, haven't you, eh? Good dog. Hey, we'll go for a walk. Hey, go for a walk. Hey, go for a walk. Hey. Of course you do. Good boy.